stand in line to face the music and speak with these hands of mine like a pantomime. You on his team and plan to shine, you probably stab his spine. You watch who you stand in front of, you watch who you stand behind.
The bullets protect you. They'll get everybody you played with. That chopper pick niggas up with no warning. It's a slave ship.
He walk in the parking lot, leaving the party feeling shake. Bad boys too. You know when Marcus daughter finna date, I meet Reggie at the door and put a 40 in his face.
Hello. Welcome back to the Speaker Language Show. And for today's episode, we have none other than the Danger Zone, aka Off With Your Motherfucking Head. How you doing?
Oh man, I'm doing good, man. Where your bars at? We here.
I've always wanted to interview Danger Zone. This is one of like my bucket list type interviews, just because like I was saying off camera, I feel like Danger Zone is probably one of the most underrated pens of all time. You know what I'm saying? Like when it comes to, you know, battle rap and penmanship, I feel like, you know, you're one of the best in doing that or whatever. But the first question I wanted to ask you going into this interview is, how exactly did you get into battle rap? And like, and alongside that, like what battlers or even like rappers influenced you to, you know, take on battle rap?
Man, ever since I got exposed to certain rap artists, I would say probably in the 90s, you know, like Cannabis or Eminem, you know, that style of rap, it got me intrigued, you know what I'm saying? And I always liked that style of rap. It was my favorite style of rap. So then as you move on to the 2000s, early 2000s and everything, I started seeing actual battle rap like on camera and things. Like you got the Smack DVDs, you had the Fight Club thing that came on later on TV later on. So it was just certain things that just even stuff as little as the 106 and Park Freestyle Friday, like all Jen and other champions that was on that show. Yeah, man, it just got me, man. So I loved it, and I'm competitive, and so yeah. That's what got me into it.
No, because I've always enjoyed looking or hearing about like battlers, like background stories and how they got into battle rap, like some of their favorite rappers, because you can kind of see like a smidge of the influence when they're rapping and stuff like that. Like I can kind of see it in your cadences, how like you may have been influenced by Cannabis back in the day or Eminem back in the day in terms of like those rhyme pockets that you get into. Because although we consider you a pen, I think your rapping ability in terms of like the flows and pockets that you get into from time to time is very uncanny and very unorthodox. So that was dope. A part of the first UFF, you know what I'm saying, a part of the first ever RBE card, which a lot of people don't talk about that. Like you were a part of the first ever RBE card. And also in 2021, you was also a part of the first KOTD season. Can you kind of go down, like, you know, what was, you know what I'm saying, some of your experiences in those situations? Because like I know a lot of times like battlers don't realize how big a situation is going to be until like they look back and be like, oh well, I kind of like, you know, set a trend, or I kind of like trailblazed to a degree. For starters, what was it like being a part of the first UFF?
So the first UFF, it was a dope experience. URL, shout out to Beasley Smack. They actually approached me with the opportunity soon after I battled Tone Montana on their platform. And they told me they had something coming up with BET. You know, and when they told me, I told them that I would be a part of it. And that experience was super dope. BET, they took care of us, you know, with the room and everything, the travel. They made sure we were well taken care of. Man, the filming, quick. They said, look, from the moment I told them that I would do it, they said, okay, so here's what's gonna happen. To win the whole thing, you got to win like 3 or 4 times or something like that. The filming was done within like 2 days. So, wow. And as far as the notice, they probably gave us maybe, at best, I think it was maybe 2 weeks notice to have at least about 6 rounds on deck or something like that. So yeah, man, as soon as I accepted it, I was writing like crazy. And that's basically, and we had to rush. We had to memorize our stuff quick, man. Fortunately, me and Ill Will was actually, which was the first UFF battle.
Yep.
Me and Ill Will was supposed to battle prior to that on the URL platform, but it didn't go down. Something happened with Ill Will, so it got pushed off. So for my first week, to make it convenient anyway, we were just like, hey, you might as well make me and Ill Will battle each other the first week, because since we were already supposed to, so that would help us in our writing process anyway if we already jotted down any ideas.
Right.
That's what happened, man. UFF, the pressure was crazy. I remember feeling super nervous, the cameras rolling. Bow Wow was obviously hosting with Smack. It was good to hear Angela Simmons say my name. That was dope. But yeah, it was an experience, man, which actually played a part in my Goods battle, which was a part of the first RBE event. Actually, that actually played a part in that, because Goods was actually there when I battled Ill Will. He's right there in the audience if you check it out on YouTube.
Yeah. Nah, man, I think those are like important tidbits of information that we need in terms of battle rap history, as you mentioned. Even especially the Goods battle, right? The one rounder, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like the jump that you made from that battle into a year that we're going to talk about, your 2015 year, is just a tremendous, and like just not only like the level, but I feel like there was I feel like every year a battler has like a glow, whether it's, you know what I'm saying, B Magic in 2013, Charlie Clips in 2014. I feel like your year was 2015, which we'll get to in a little bit. Writer's Block, one of the biggest battle rap factions ever. I know we talk about Team Hami, Dot Mob, NWX, you know what I'm saying, but in terms of like how big the group was, like one of the biggest factions ever. It wouldn't be right for me not to say that you were probably one of the cornerstones of Writer's Block. Like, I feel like you wore it heavy. I feel like when it came to like recruiting people, and also like the talk of like, okay, who we're allowing a part of this group, what is this group supposed to resemble, I feel like you, Big Cannon, and maybe a couple other people are like the cornerstones of that group. And I will also go on to say that I feel like, although like we could say like Writer's Block probably like disbanded 2016, 2017 or whatever, but I feel like the official like curtain call of Writer's Block was you and Big Cannon when you guys battled in 2017. Like, I feel like that was like, okay, it's done. Like, that was like the final curtain call for that, which I have as one of the top 25, a part of the top 25 RBE battles of all time. I feel like you and Big Cannon was a tremendous battle. But the question I wanted to ask was, what were some of your block on block battles, and what were some of your Writer's Block, some of your favorite Writer's Block moments as well, while you guys were moving it?
So, and this actually ties in, because I wanted to mention this ties into your question anyway, which it works out. I do want to say me and Danny Myers I was also a part of the first Traffic.
Absolutely. Yes, you were. Amazing 2015 year. That's another piece of your 2015.
Yeah, Danny had a crazy battle.
Dimensions is real portals. Your style ill. I'm ill. Shocked I'll make it clear for you. Marco. Oh! Meaning you jumped in a pool and lost sight of who's in it, but listen, I feel for you.
So you were asking what were the block on block battles that I participated in was me and Danny Myers had a crazy battle. Me and B Magic battled late 2015 as well. I battled JC also.
I think that was the same card as DNA and Calico.
Absolutely.
The same card. Yep. Okay.
Yep. Charlie Clips battled Chilla Jones, that card and everything. But that was actually a pretty dope card. But I had me and JC, me and B Magic, let's see, me and Danny, me and Daylight as well.
You guys battled twice.
We battled twice.
A lot of people don't know that you battled. I think you guys battled in like 2011 on. I wouldn't say it's your home league, but like one of the first leagues that you like battled on. I want to say.
Yeah, so for a time, Pit Fight, it was called Pit Fights Battle League.
Yeah.
They were my home league for a time. Yeah, I battled Daylight there. That was before Writer's Block even started. We were, that was super early in my career. That was like 2012. I had came in battle rap in 2011, so I was still pretty new. Daylight had been around, but he hadn't even made his takeoff yet before he went to Ski Mask, and before all of that, that was still during that time. And actually, me and Daylight in Baltimore, we battled on the spot. That battle was not planned. It wasn't scheduled. Daylight was in Baltimore to battle someone else who didn't show up.
Gotcha.
And so when the league, paid for him or made arrangements for him to be there, they didn't want it to go to waste. So when I was in attendance at the event, and it was between a couple guys that was going to step up to do it. And, they ended up choosing me because I had a buzz at the time. I had my first proving ground already. And so, yeah, they gave me about, I want to say, I was given maybe about 15 to 20 minutes before we got on stage. Like, yo, all right, I'm going to give you 15, 20 minutes. They gave me about 15, 20 minutes. We got on stage and we battled, yeah. But by the second time, LA, main event, King of the Dot, we were Writer's Block at that point. That was also 2015.
Yep.
Super dope. Yep. So I battled Daylight as well as far as block on block. I had a lot of really good block on block battles. Even as you mentioned, Big Cannon in 2017. I had a lot of wars, man.
Yeah.
I had a lot of wars for sure.
Yeah. No, I also think of like, even though I don't even know if it was official yet, but like when Nitty was a part of Writer's Block too, at a certain point in time, you battled him.
Yeah, how can I forget him? I battled him as well. Yeah, I battled Chef Trez as well.
Yep.
I battled nearly the whole team almost, except for 40 bars. I didn't battle 40 bars, but that was probably about it. Or Oops, and I didn't battle Oops either. But I
didn't really, and I don't think you really battled Chilla either. I mean, you guys had the quarantine joint or whatever, but like for the most part. You know what I'm saying?
But people don't count that, right? That's just
nah. Which and plus, like you guys are like boys anyway, so I don't even know. Like, but that was something like 2015. If there was a block on block battle that should have happened, you and Chilla probably should have happened just because of like just the overall like testing your pins and stuff like that or whatever. But yeah, no, great moment in history, great moment in time. I think like we have some of the best bar fest you could think of, like one that doesn't involve you but still one of my favorite block on block battles, Daylight and Oops, you know what I'm saying? I want to say Chilla and Danny Myers, crazy, you know what I'm saying? I just think that Writer's Block just, really created a bunch of great battles in that mid to late portion of the 2010s.
Before we because I wasn't sure if he was about to move on, but before we do, with Writer's Block, people may not know because we grew to be about 11 members or so strong. Yeah, when we finished adding people and everything. But when we first started, as far as original members, it was only 4 of us. And I remember the first day we started it. It was myself, B Magic, Big Cannon, and Chilla Jones. Those are actually the 4 original Writer's Block members. And I remember they came up to me. It was about 2. It was like I was the last one that they came to. Between those other 3 guys, they had already spoke about it. They're like, "Yo, we starting something. It's called. We're gonna call it Writer's Block. And it just seemed like such a dope idea, man. But yeah, the 4 original members was Danger Zone,
the 4 Horsemen. That's Chilla crazy.
Jones, and Big Cannon. Those were the original 4 members.
And it's fitting. It is fitting because I feel like when it came to like each person having I feel like each person had their run to a degree. Like I felt like when Big Cannon first came on the scene, like he was one of the more prominent people out of Chicago, outside of Big T or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And obviously you had your run. Chilla had his buzz. B Magic had his buzz. So it's like it's fitting that like you 4 were kind of like the one that started that movement 100%.
For sure.
And we alluded to this throughout the video already, the interview already. 2015, man. I think that when we talk about like some of the best runs, specifically some of the best runs off the URL platform, I think we kind of have to talk about your year. You battle. I don't know if this battle happened at the latter portion of 2015 or 2016 because of just the release or whatever. But you battled Verb, if I'm not mistaken, in 2015. Or was that latter portion of 2015? Okay, I was just trying to make sure. Verb.
Yeah, Verb in 2015, yeah.
Verb, Ladaze, Daylight, Danny Myers, B Magic, and I could make the case that you won all these battles. And the crazy thing about it is like, again, off of URL, right? Your buzz is coming from just strictly your talent and what you're bringing to the table. Ladaze is one of the biggest body bags of all time. You know what I'm saying? Like when you talk about just showing the separation between you and your opponent, right? So I feel like a lot of things can cause like somebody to, you know what I'm saying, fumble or, you know, not do good in the battle. But like, it's one thing to like a person to like, you know what I'm saying, just get bodied, and there's another person to quit because they know they don't have the material to withstand what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a whole other extreme. I think about that battle. I think about you battling Daylight again, you know what I'm saying? Which battling him once is kind of crazy, but battling him again is kind of crazy. You and Danny, one of the best traffic battles in traffic history or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And then you taking on B Magic on Black Ice, which is kind of your second home to a degree, you know what I'm saying? I just feel like 2015 was such an action-packed year. You know, can you talk a little bit about the zone that you were in that year? Because it's like sometimes you tap into like a sweet spot as a battler, and every time you write, you just feel like you have something special. So can you kind of touch on like how 2015 was for you in terms of like that zone you were in?
So going into 2015, I had a couple rough patches before 2015, which played a part in my mindset going into 2015. I had a situation, the goods battle. I had the goods battle that was like 2014. Yeah. But, you know, the culture or the majority, you know, basically counted that as a body bag as goods bodying me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And and then also they had a thing about Danger Zone's boots. I had this whole boot thing. Yeah. And so it was a couple instances like the examples I just named where when my name would come up, it would be, oh, Boots or Goods did this to him. Oh, so I felt like people were writing me off in a sense or taking my name as a joke. So I kind of went in a dungeon mode, like in the whole strategy room, and just was like, I kind of told myself that, yo, this year, I'm just about to black out on everybody to the point that they're going to forget or make it null and void everything that's happened before now. They're going to be like, oh, it's going to go from jokes to, hold on, we should take that. He's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Let's take him, he's throwing away, he's wilding out. So really, I had a couple good showings in late 2014 going into where I battled KG the Poet, then I battled Cortez, and then that's when we moved into 2015. Yeah. So when we hit 2015, I just hit the ground running, man. Shout out to A Verb. I battled him in Maryland, where I'm from. Yep. Yeah, man, and I just took off. But that was my mindset, man. Just too many people was playing with me, and that's not how I wanted to be remembered. That's not how I wanted to be thought of, man. So I just did something about it.
Yeah, and again, it's one of these situations where the reason why I like have the utmost respect for that year is because, you know, a lot of battlers have like God gifted talents, you know what I'm saying, in terms of like performance, in terms of like just having like off the charts charisma and stuff like that. It's very hard to beat battlers strictly off of material and strictly off of like what you're writing down. And specifically for someone like you who's like more pin oriented, more material oriented, for you to have the run that you did just off of like just having crazy material is just so impressive, because we know that in battle rap, right, there's a lot of other elements that play a role in battle rap, you know what I'm saying, aggression, charisma, performance, yada yada yada. But at the basis of it is having, you know what I'm saying, great material. And I feel like if for you to have the best material in 2015, it probably one of like the more, I know people say 2014 is like probably one of the peaks, right? 2012 is one of the peaks of the battle rap. People say 2014. I think 2015 was still a part of that 2014 type timeline. So for you to have like, you know what I'm saying, one of the best, having the best material in a year where everybody's having a tremendous year, whether it's Tay Rock, whether it's Clips, whether it's, you know what I'm saying, a bunch of battlers, you know what I'm saying. And for you to be mentioned in that light when a year prior, you were kind of like a punchline when it came to other stuff is just a tremendous feat. But my next question, right? I remember he was on Breakfast with the Champ. I want to say earlier in 2022. You and Drugs was having a conversation or whatever. You guys are supposed to battle somewhere down the line. I'm still looking forward towards that battle.
Okay.
And you alluded to the fact that you kind of took like a small hiatus in between, which I recognize, right? Because like the R Street battles happened or whatever, and then that was a whole controversial thing. And then you might have battled a couple times in between that, but like the Danger Zone pre 2017, 2016, he was outside. You know what I'm saying? He was battling maybe 6 to 7 times a year. Then as time progressed, you know what I'm saying, you started to like maybe take one battle here, one battle there. What has been like the mode for you, like slowing down your production? I know, is it partially the motivation factor, or is it just you're trying to just, pick your battles wisely? Like because I'm used to like Danger Zone being outside like 5-6 times a year. In the past few years, you kind of been like 1 or 2, maybe 3. So
yeah, so a few things play a part in that. Like sometimes we as battlers, like, because one thing fans don't think about or realize that we have personal lives too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So sometimes it could be things going on within my personal life that I wasn't in the right headspace to be able to, keep doing battles or writing for somebody to mess with my creativity. Mm-hmm. So it would be that at times. Then sometimes it was the motivation, or sometimes a lot of your hard work could feel as though it's not being appreciated. Mm-hmm. And when I was, with fans used to me being outside so much every year, I felt like it became kind of a thing where it was either expected or not really. They didn't really pay that much attention. It's like, oh, whatever. It was like
you felt like you wasn't getting accredited for it.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. And it's just like, okay, Danger Zone's here. Okay, and that was cool. But yeah, so certain things like that, maybe I felt like maybe they should miss me a little bit, or so I would take little breaks or just chill out or just kind of just analyze the game, sit back, be a fan. So a lot of that played a part all together. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Nah, because I do want to see more of Danger Zone. You just recently had a battle with Shotgun Sugar, 1-rounder, to end 2022, and then before that you had a 1-rounder with Saga, whatever, which is that should have been 3 rounds just because of how long awaited that was. You called out Saga for a minute, so I was expecting that to be a 3-round battle, but as long as we're seeing you in battles, that's fine. But my next question, right, because I consider you to be a OG when it comes to like Maryland battle rap. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like you rep Maryland, like you and Tay Rock are like the OGs when it comes to like repping the state of Maryland when it comes to battle rap. I feel like we're having like a resurgence of Maryland battlers, or Merlin as they say. You know what I'm saying? The OSBL movement, you know what I'm saying? And just a lot of prominent battlers that are like really, really thriving coming out of Maryland. Who are some of your like some of the talents in the state that you're like the most impressed with or whatever? You know what I'm saying? I have a few that come to mind. Ace Amin obviously is having a buzz right now. A lot of people feel like he's gonna have a promising 2023 Sheet Happens is having a buzz. You still got Swerve, you still have like people like Ryder, a bunch of people in Maryland just doing their thing right now. Who are some of the talents that you think of?
I do want to say big shout out to the DMV, man, and that's what we did. That's what we do this for. Well, I can't speak for no one else, but I know myself when I got in the game and got on platforms like URL, King of the Dot, and things like that, being like the first guy from my area to get there. Mm-hmm. Not Maryland as a whole, of course, because Tay Rock was around,
right.
But for Southern Maryland, PG, DC, DMV area, I was the first one from the area to I guess cross that boundary or open that door, so that because after I got there, the next year you had Ty Law, then you had Prep, then you had the Riders, you had the Drugs. All these people started coming out, and me being the guy that was in the forefront back then to see what the DMV has grown to become now in battle rap. I know me for one, it's amazing. But as far as talents right now coming out of the area, man, I tell anyone to check out Foots. Foots is going crazy right now, along with the people you said. Sheed Happens is killing it right now. Saflare Soul is crazy. He's on the come up. They opened up. Foots and Saflare Soul opened up the last volume card. Yeah, man, it's a lot of DMV talent, and there's still more and more talent. I attend a lot of OSBL events, a lot of DMV events, and I'm just seeing the talent, and I'm loving it, man. It's just crazy. But that's just a couple, just to name a few. It's a lot of talent out here coming out of the DMV, man.
Yeah, and I feel like we always have like certain regional movements during a certain time period, you know what I'm saying, whether it was the West in like 2020, 2019, or you know what I'm saying, whether it's kind of like the South a little bit with the Carolinas doing their thing or whatever. And I feel like 2023 may be a promising year for DMV and Maryland, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to them. Now we're about to get into the Rappers Pentagon segment, which I asked you five questions pertaining to a top 5 or 5 things, and you just try to rattle off as much as you can in that moment. So the first one, and this is hard for any battler to do because battlers will never admit that they lost the battle. But I know you're transparent enough to where you'll like own up to some losses or whatever. Can you name 5 battles where you felt like you either lost or were on the losing side of a battle perception wise?
Yeah, definitely, especially perception wise, man. There was the Goods battle. Even the more recent Shotgun Suge battle, they gave it to him. We had even the Ill Will battle on UFF. That's 3. 2 more. We got let me think. Man, now it starts to get a little difficult. 2 more, I would say. Here's one people may or may not know about. So I had a battle with Rome on URL. It was unreleased.
I heard about it.
Yeah, it never got released. So that was a interesting battle in itself. But the majority who was in attendance, who got a chance to see it, they might have edged Roan in the battle. So that would be a 4th one. Shout out to Roan. And just one more.
I'm not gonna say one because it's gonna seem like,
I'll be honest, man, I've been fortunate enough to win most of my battles.
That's what DNA said. That's what's funny.
I just don't be losing every day. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's some guys that lose a lot. I'm not one of those guys that's just losing all the time. You know what I mean? But as far as clear cut, where people will give it to the other guy, those were 4. A 5th one, somebody I don't know. They're either debatable. Either I clearly won, it's a close battle.
Not to be that guy, but a lot of people give the battle to Big T, and when y'all battle,
sorry. You're right. Yeah. I have a lot of battles online. We could throw the Big T as the 5th one in there. We could throw that battle in there as well. My bad. You're right though. That's what you got help me too. I got a lot of battles.
Because I wasn't trying to harp on the losses. That's
nah. We keeping it real. It real. But that's the whole thing though, because all of us as battlers, I don't think any of us are undefeated. To be honest with you, from the top tier to bottom tier, like that's just what it is. You win some, you lose some. But like I said, it just took me a hard time to come up with 5, and I got like probably 60 battles online. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, shout out to all of those guys on that list, man. Shout out to Big T. I'm cool. I'm relatively cool with most of those guys, at least. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Goods, Roan, Big T, Suge, Ill Will. Shout out to all those guys, man. Ill Will, just a quick sidebar. Ill Will to this day is responsible for helping me get my biggest bag for a single battle ever. Like, so after me and him battled on BET and all that, he reached out to me in like 2016 to battle Mic Murderers, and I got the biggest bag I've ever received for a single battle because Ill Will reached out to me and broke bread with me. You know what I'm saying? So salute to those guys, man. But yeah, That's the 5 right there.
All right. Top 5 favorite performances of yours. So maybe not the most critically acclaimed from the fans, or maybe not the most prominent ones, but for yourself, you're like, when I performed this, or when I like wrote this, like it felt like it was something special. So 5 of your favorite performances of your career.
5 of my favorites. I would definitely mention my Danny Myers performance. I would definitely mention my Latizé performance.
Mm-hmm.
I would say Low Key, which is the battle I just referenced to with the Ill Will Mike Murderers thing.
Mm-hmm.
Low Key, my performance with Quest McCody. There were some audio issues, but the actual bars and performance thing,
yeah,
I liked it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it a lot. So that's 3. I actually, and it's several of them, but we're just naming 5. I kind of like what I did with Daylight in LA. I like what I did there. And for a 5th one, a really good one that I really liked. Let's go. Man, that's a good one.
I'll throw something out. I liked you versus like I said, you and Big Ken is one of my favorite battles of yours. So
How could I forget
that one, or you can do the B Magic one, or you can do, because I'm punching your lights out. You don't even know what round you're in. That's amazing. You know what I'm saying?
It was a lot of dope. Yeah, it was a lot of dope performances, man. But yeah, I would probably throw that Big Cannon because that was special for several reasons. And one of the biggest reasons I would say was because I out-rebutted Big Cannon in that battle.
Why is you trespassing? Fire.
The freestyle going into that battle, I knew I had to reach in my bag for some other things. And Big Cannon is a phenomenal freestyler, awesome rebuttal guy. So yeah, I could definitely throw that in there. But like we say, it's a lot of performances that were super dope. Me and DNA low-key had a great battle.
Yeah, in the barbershop. Crazy battle. Yeah.
Chef Trez, I had dope material for him. My cartel performances, a lot of my newborn. And
a lot of people don't realize that like early 2010s when Newborn was still great when it came to like crafting good material. So you can't just go in there and beat up. Like I know a lot of people how he stigmatized whatever for his choking and all that. But like in terms of material, you're not just going in there and watching Newborn off material. Not often, at least. So yeah.
Absolutely, man. So it's so many for sure.
Yeah. Next one. 5 of the toughest people you had to prepare for. And I like asking this question because like I feel like it's a situation where like how we view battlers is way different than how like people that actually battle view battlers. So like someone that we may think like, oh, that may be a tough matchup for him. The battler himself may think, oh no, I gotta way to attack this guy or whatever. So who are 5 people that were like really, really tough to prepare for?
And the funny thing is, I think this question might be a little easier. It comes off easier to me than it should be. I feel like it should be a little more difficult, but I have a few names that automatically come to mind. I'll start off with the more recent Shotgun Suge. And part of that is because not only because he's a different type of battler, but we had 1 week to prepare. So, you know, with me, I actually have a job as well. Like people who work and you have 1 week, you have short notice. Shout out to the Saga as well, because I had 1 week for him as well. But yeah, Suge and what was on the line and him being champion of the year candidate. He had crazy momentum. So just me trying to prepare in that short time, that one round, and we had a shorter time limit as far as how long the round could be as well. So I had to kind of condense the material and try to come up with something quick. So I'll start light with the Suge thing. Roan. He had never been on URL. I was a fan of his work earlier in Grind Time and things like that. So, but to actually sit down and prepare for someone like Roan that early in my career, it was extremely difficult because you don't know. He's not your typical street battler. He's like, you know what I mean? You can't. It's so weird battling him on battling Roan on URL in Pittsburgh. Because he's from Pennsylvania, but so it was that crowd. It was it was weird. That might have been the whitest URL crowd I've ever seen in my life. That's probably history. That probably is the whitest URL crowd that's to this day, like that's ever been. So it was weird, you know what I mean? They had real deals and such people in the car, but yes, I would say Roan, Suge, Roan, Mickey Fax. Shout out my brother Mickey Fax.
Wish that was a 3-round battle. Was that a Black Ice and Guerrilla Warfare collaboration event?
Together for an event, an amazing name pack card. It was crazy.
Stake out, you in trouble, lose the scuffle, beat him till I bruise my knuckles, draw the thing and let it ring and ring like I can't lose and wuzzle.
Mickey Fax, you know, he wasn't a battle rapper like that, so he was an artist. So I had to like come up with. It was crazy.
You had no reference point. You had to like just really rap with him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, basically. So that's 3 already. 2 more that was tough to just write for. I would say I could kind of squeeze in these 2 battles that come to the top of my head. Were the quarantine battles, man. It was Chilla Jones and Arsenal even. Now that's because Chilla, we were cool and everything, and you know, you just coming up with stuff like that. So I had my firstborn around that time. So I was actually in the hospital with my baby mom. She had given birth to my daughter. And I had these quarantine battles, and Beasley and they were trying to reach me. I was keep trying to push it back, and so I'm writing while I just had this newborn baby and things like that. It was just kind of crazy for me around that time, and my creative process was greatly affected in preparing for those 2 battles, the quarantine battles with Chilla Jones and Arsenal.
Yeah. Next question though. Name 5, because I know you're a Martin fan. Name 5 of your favorite Martin episodes. One of the things I think of is like I remember you and Charlie Clips at this like 15 Minutes of Fame interview talking about like who know more Martin references and stuff like that. So I had to ask, name 5 of your favorite Martin episodes.
Oh yeah, for sure. You know I'm gonna love this part of the interview for sure. Martin, No Justice, No Peace, where he's in the courtroom. He gets a ticket, you know, for doing a rolling stop past a stop sign.
Right,
he makes
right.
He acts crazy in court. There's that one. You got Who Stole My CD Player? I thoroughly enjoyed. I thoroughly enjoyed that episode as well. He did the New Jack City thing with the
dog.
stuff. Rottweiler, the fake Rottweiler is crazy.
Yeah.
That's 2. I'll go ahead and throw in the Hitman Hearns fight. He looked lumped up, crazy.
Yeah.
There's so many episodes I love, but it'd be easy to name 5. That's 3. I kind of did enjoy one from the first season where he had a charity event and he was acting like he was a big time guy just because they put him in charge of the church, so he kind of dogged out all his friends.
Oh yeah.
He ended up having to perform by himself until his friends came through for him. I thought that was pretty funny. And one more just for the road. Let's see. Let's do so many, but let's do fuck it. I will do the one where Gina she had to go out of business trip just when Bob from marketing and he was
right.
Out of control. She's out of control. So I had to do one with Bob from marketing, made his appearance. So that's a quick 5, man. But there's so many episodes that I love from that show.
Sure. Fire. I think my favorite is Hollywood Swinging, when he said I'm gonna quit my job and go to he went to Hollywood, started sung with Jodeci.
Barnell Hill, absolutely.
Fire. And then my last one, part of the Rappers Pentagon segment. Your personal top 5 writers / pens, excluding yourself, obviously. And I wanted to ask this coming from you because you're a really, really great pen, and you probably know what it takes to be a great pen in battle rap. And I'm always interested in seeing like the people that do it at such a high level and who they revere some of the greats. Because I watched a old stream of Chillers, I want to say a year ago. It was him, B. Loso, and Danny Myers, and they were talking about like their top 10 pens, and it was just very interesting to see them bounce back and forth between like what do they consider pens and who they consider like great pens and stuff like that. So who's your personal top 5 when it comes to pens?
There's a few guys, pens who I respect at an extremely high level, and it's a shame to try to condense it to 5, but
Right.
I'll do my best. I'll
Right.
do my best for sure. And so some people I feel like I have to name. Old Red has to be for me.
Like that.
He's phenomenal, man. His pen game, and like I said, I'm not going to do your traditional what everybody says.
Right.
That people not going to think to say. You know what I'm saying? Old Red is crazy when he's in top shape. Rum Nitty.
Yes.
I have to mention Rum Nitty. His punchline game, which comes, you got to be able to construct it, right?
Yeah.
In writing it. So his ability to, because he doesn't just punchline. He definitely took punchlining to a different level. Arguably the best punchliner we've ever heard. The way and how original he is, and how a lot of his punchlines are like 2-part setup punches. It's just insane, man. So I have to go Old Red, Rum Nitty. As far as from a rapping standpoint, I feel like I have to say Disaster. I like a top Disaster is he heavily his ability to multi and things like that. It's amazing. He's right up under like the Eminems. It seems like he kind of comes from somewhat of an Eminem dojo or school. You know what I'm saying? So Disaster, I would say. 2 more. A lot of my names are going to surprise people, man. You know who I think is super awesome? I think Ilmac is super awesome.
That's not going to surprise people, man. I think Ilmac was honorable mention, like probably the 6th man of our top 5 list when we made top 5 pens. Ilmac is amazing.
Ilmac, and when he gets in his bag, he gets crazy, man. So that's 4. A good 5th. Let's say who do I think is like so crazy? Oh, this is actually easy once it actually hit me. Pat Stay, man. Rest in peace, Pat Stay. Pat Stay is aside from him being absolutely hilarious, he is a phenomenal rapper. He was a phenomenal rapper because he had so much of he could make you laugh, and then he could get serious and out rap you. He can like rap your lights out. He could rap circles around you. So a quick 5, I think that would be the quick 5 for me, man. I definitely want to throw honorable mention out there to people like A-Verb. I think A-Verb raps really well. As far as the way they write it, it starts with how you write it, and then them being able to rap it, obviously. But I love the way they construct those bars, man. But that 5 off the top of my head, I think I respect all those guys at a very high level.
No, I appreciate you doing something unconventional, because like we talk about time, we kind of already know like the the names that are always mentioned, but for you to kind of take a different route and just highlight some of the people that don't really get enough credit for their writing was tremendous. But co-sign that, Ilmac, Red.
One more honorable mention too that people ain't going to think, because his performance is so electrifying. I think New Jersey Twerk is a great.
I knew you were gonna say that. Yeah, amazing.
He is
writer.
The way he constructs his lines too.
Yeah,
he's amazing. He's so electrifying that people only look at his performance and his But if you listen to how he writes that stuff,
yeah, nah. In terms of like the like, I think he created a lane for like a lot of rappers using idioms as a vehicle to create punchlines, and just his wordplay, the elongated wordplay, how he's able to break down like 3 to 4 syllable words into like a punchline, like tremendous. So yeah, and I kind of knew where you were going when you said that, for sure.
absolutely.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, that was the Rappers Pentagon segment, and now we're going to get into the Flowers segment, which are pretty much talk on some of your major contributions and feats when it comes to battle rap. So, off rip, you have one of the biggest body bags of all time against Lada Zay, a part of the first UFF series, a part of the first KOTD season, a part of the first Traffic card, and also a part of the first RBE card ever. And you battled on every platform you could think of: KOTD, Don't Flop, URL, Guerrilla Warfare, Black Ice, RBE, across multiple leagues. Foundational piece of Maryland battle rap, and you've had the privilege of battling Charlie Clips, Goods, Big T, DNA, Rum Nitty, Old Red, B Magic, Ill Will, JC, Cortez, Averb, and Danny Myers. When it's all said and done, what does Danger Zone want to accomplish before he hangs it up? And probably, if there is a battle rap Hall of Fame, when your jersey gets hung up in the rafters too, what do you want to accomplish when it's all said and done?
I do want to say, before I answer that, big shout out to ARP. He's definitely a solid dude. He's always been solid anytime I talk to him. So shout out to RBE and ARP. Shout out to Lada Zay. I know that, that battle with me, it probably affected his career in a lot of ways. But before that battle, we were cool. Anytime I saw him, it was love. He wanted to do the battle. We both knew that we both respected each other. And, before he was trying to get it pushed on URL, he's like, yo, we need to, because Lada Zay was part of the 2012 class as well, the second Proving Ground class, along with myself. And, so we were going to do it there or trying to get it done there. Then ended up getting done on Cartel. I trained and prepared for him in the way that I did because my respect level was so high. He was body bagging guys, the Jersey juggernaut. Everybody knows him. But shout out, I did want to take that time to say shout out to Lada Zay because of what happened in me and his battle. I know that after that, he probably took a lot of grief or took a lot of hits within his brand and his career as a battle rapper after that. So shout out to him, man. It's always been love. It's always love. As far as what things I want to accomplish when this thing is all said and done for me, the first thing I want to say is I've already accomplished most of what I set out to accomplish. So even if I didn't battle rap again from here on out, I'm definitely at peace. I feel like I made a huge name for myself. I played a major role in DMV battle rap in the beginning stages as far as it blowing up and getting other people in the country or outside the country to pay attention to DMV with URL and other platforms. Because I remember my first Proving Ground, Smack didn't even really know what PG County was. Like, I remember him asking me where I was from, and I told him, and he was like, "Huh, what?" And I think the only reason Beasley knows is he has family that's from where I'm from. But outside of that, man, when this thing is all said and done, man, I have, when I'm done with this thing, I did my thing. You know what I'm saying? Anybody, when Danger Zone comes up, most people who are battle rap fans, they know who I am. They know what I've done. They know my pen. They know my performances. My record is whatever my record is. It's a winning record by a long shot. I'm here, man. I was here for over a decade long. 2023 marks the 12th year of me being in this battle rap scene. We here, man. When this is all said and done, sure, there are a couple stages that I did want to hit before it's all said and done. I would love to be on a Summer Madness. I would love to be on a Gnome, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Even a volume. I feel like you not being the volume is criminal. That's criminal.
You said it. I was about to say that. Like, as far as the volume thing, there's no reason I shouldn't have already been on a volume. but I'm still active. So it's never too late until this whole thing is over. So we still gonna see if I can make a volume maybe this year. You never know what this year holds. But definitely, man, as long as my city, as long as my section, recognizes me, which most people from the DMV do. You have those people who might be jealous or they're gonna hate. You gonna have haters if you got any type of name and anything. But outside of those people, I'm at peace, man. I'm at peace, to be honest with you. So when this thing is all said and done, whatever already has happened, I'm cool with. Charlie Clips was my favorite battle rapper. I battled him. I was able to stand in front of him for 3 rounds and actually battle him. You see what I'm saying? Like, so little stuff like that. I'm good, man. I'm good, man. For real.
Yeah, that's great to hear, man. And like I said, one of the most underrated pins that battle rap has to offer. When it comes to everything that exemplifies just
even
writing.
Even the whole battle rapper of the year thing.
Yeah.
Like, in 2015 when people recognized me, like we mentioned earlier, no major backing. I was in top 10 top battle rapper on a top 10 list with names like Charlie Clips, Loaded Lux. The craziest of the crazy names. I was at the top of the list I was off talent alone. You know what I'm saying? So stuff like that. It's like when I look back on my career, what can I be mad at? You know what I'm saying? I'm not mad at all, bro. Like I've accomplished a lot of what many people have not accomplished and won't accomplish. They've came and went. I'm over a decade. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you really sit and think about it, I can't be mad at nothing, man.
Yeah. But
for sure.
Thank you very much for allowing me to interview you and going down history, the memory lane and your history, and all that contributed. Really looking forward to your next battles, some 3-round battles, hopefully going into 2023, we get a full length, performance from you. Plenty matchups still out there. I want you to see a couple of clashes here and there. But I'm just excited to see what 2023 holds for you. But this has been our Speaking Our Language show. We had the chance to interview Danger Zone, and that was a bucket list accomplishment. So I'm grinning ear to ear. So, but thank you guys for watching, and we'll be back with more content very soon. Appreciate you.